Of all the places you'd expect to find a life-changing treasure, a dusty old jewelry box is perhaps the most hopeful. It's a place of quiet legacy where heirlooms sleep, waiting for their stories to be told again. For one guest on the BBC's beloved Antiques Roadshow, a trip to have a family keepsake appraised turned into one of those heart-stopping moments that remind us why we hold onto the past so dearly. She arrived with a small, beautiful watch, hoping for a little insight, and left with a valuation that literally left her speechless. Imagine the scene: the gentle buzz of the crowd, the clinking of porcelain, the hushed conversations between hopeful owners and seasoned experts. It's a space filled with quiet anticipation. Into this scene walks a woman, cradling a piece of her family's history. She presents it to Richard Price, a man whose eyes have witnessed centuries of craftsmanship. The object in question is a pendant watch, a delicate marvel of artistry that immediately captures his expert attention. As he takes the piece, his reverence is palpable. It isn't just an object, it's a time capsule. "That's a lovely story," he begins, his voice warm, instantly putting the guest at ease. But his focus is on the watch, turning it over in his hands, his expression a mixture of awe and intense concentration. "And I'll tell you something," he continues, his eyes lighting up. "It is in absolutely exquisite condition." He gestures to the delicate surface, a canvas of vibrant color. "There's not a chip out of that enamel anywhere." For an item over a century old, this is nothing short of a miracle. It speaks of a history of care, of being cherished and protected through generations. The guest, like many of us who inherit such treasures, admits she knows little about its origins, only that it has been passed down. This is where the magic of the roadshow truly begins. Price becomes a storyteller, translating the language of the object for its owner. "Well, these flowers, the petals, leaves, the enamel, it's very sort of Art Nouveau in style, isn't it?" he observes. He paints a picture of the era, a time at the turn of the 20th century when artisans rebelled against rigid industrial forms, turning instead to the flowing, organic beauty of nature. And just looking at the general shape and size of the piece, I'm quite happy to say it's about 1905 to 1910. Suddenly, the watch isn't just old, it has a place in time, a context, a soul. It has danced at parties in the Edwardian era, ticked through 2 world wars, and witnessed a world transform around it. Price's admiration is infectious. He demonstrates its functionality, rotating the bezel to wind the delicate mechanism within. He uses a small thumb piece to adjust the hands, showing that this beautiful ornament is still a perfectly working timepiece. "It does everything it should do," he says with a satisfying smile. But just as the appraisal seems to be a straightforward story of perfection, Price's expert eye catches a subtle detail, a tiny inconsistency that adds a layer of mystery. "But there's just one thing I'm not entirely happy with," he confesses, his tone shifting from pure praise to thoughtful analysis. He points to the glittering halo of gems. "The little rose diamonds around the bezel of this watch just don't have quite the same style and class, if I can use that word, of these brilliant cut ones here," he says, indicating the diamonds on the pendant from which the watch hangs. He invites the guest to look closer, to see what he sees. "Do you see how that's just a little bit nicer than the watch itself?" he asks gently. The guest peers at the piece, her new understanding dawning as she agrees. This single tiny detail suggests a fascinating possibility. The pendant and the watch may not have been born together. They might be 2 separate, exquisite pieces that found each other later in life. But for Price, this isn't a flaw. It's a feature of its story. Popping open the watch case, he reveals the beating heart inside, a movement so tiny it's half the size of his fingernail. He describes it as absolutely typically Swiss, a testament to the unparalleled skill of Swiss watchmakers. "It is an exquisite thing, wonderful quality," he reaffirms. He returns to the question of the diamonds. "I'm not sure that the pendant actually went on with the watch when new, but the colors are so good that it doesn't really matter." In a world that often demands perfect originality, this is a beautiful sentiment. The 2 pieces are so harmoniously matched that their union creates a beauty all its own. It blends extremely well, because this is an unusual quality of enamel, and it's an unusual color, because you've got the dark reds, and you've got these lovely, almost corally petals. It's a happy marriage of art, a perfect pairing that has stood the test of time. Then comes the moment everyone has been waiting for. The air grows still. The valuation is more than